since we've been here, we've been talking about having a chance to be a top 10 program, and the only way you can do that is over time. And at some point in time, you got to be a top 10 team, a top 10 program. And, today we didn't just be the top 10 team, we be the top 5 program. I'm so proud of those guys in there. It wasn't easy. They kept fighting. The momentum shifted in the second half, which I knew was going to happen. I mean, you just don't come into this place and battle a top 10 team or a top 5 program and don't think they're going to come rolling back. And I'm just so proud of the way those guys handled even some of the tougher situations, missing field goals. They didn't bat an eye. They just kept grinding through it and made the plays down the stretch when we needed it.
So much narrative and storylines coming in. How did you feel like they came out right away and handled it?
You know what? It was much different than it was in Indiana. And I think we learned a bit from that and the emotions of how much it can drain you at the start of the game and things. Our guys came out there. They really were calm and cool. And I mean, the whole day was kind of like that. And I wasn't worried. I was just kind of like, this is a different vibe from a really mature team. And I think they kind of were focused and locked in. And I think we lost maybe a little bit of focus there in the third quarter, which I was worried about. But the leadership stepped right back up. And a guy like Desmond Ritter, there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah, speaking of Desmond, that touchdown run in the fourth quarter to kind of push the game out of reach. Can you just talk about how big that play was as we're seizing the momentum back from Notre Dame after they went on that little bit of a run?
Obviously, they were making it really difficult on him all day, and some of those run plays that they had done a really, really good job at eliminating Des in his run game. But it's just really it's hard to stop. I mean, he's just so consistent. You keep working, and if there's an inch, he's going to find it. That's the kind of leader we want in this program. He's grown to be what that is, and we feed off him.
You're never a guy that looks too far ahead. It's probably on to the next opponent at this point. But
Friday night.
Yeah. So when you look at what you guys needed to do today to build this resume that you're going to need to build to get to this college football playoff, how big is a win like this to get that ball going in the right direction?
Well, that's for you guys to go ahead and get the ball going, because for us, it's still got to be about winning championships. And so proud. Desmond Ritter got in front of the team afterwards, and I brought him up there, and that's all he said, guys. This is just another step in us having a chance to win a championship, and nothing besides that. And so they are a mature group. They are focused on those things. We'll continue to hopefully have to fend off people talking about that, and that's a great thing. But for us, we got to really kind of hone in. We got a Friday night turnaround to play at home, and we got to still keep doing what we're doing. There's a lot more this team can do, and we haven't played our best ball just yet.
Luke, how much did you envision a scene like this when you took the job in terms of being on a stage, winning a game? You have your fans here as well.
I was fortunate enough to be for a long time in a place where you played some really, really big games. So when I took over, I was naive, obviously. Most first-time really newer head coaches. I'm not one of those guys that envisioned, it was always about finding a way to get to championships. So I never really allowed myself to envision things like that. But I know for the program and what we want to do, we've been pretty successful in the last few years, but we have not beat a top 10 program or a top 5 program. And for us to do that today on the road, I think is a big step for us. And it'll bring some other things to us. It'll bring some other things that we've got to be able to handle. Some more, maybe notoriety of some more things that our kids are going to have to handle. But everything that's been thrown at them so far, they've done a really, really good job of it. They expect nothing different.
The Peach Bowl last year, you guys go up, and then obviously they fought back and win it. This year, they come back a little bit in the third quarter, but you guys hold them off. Do you see some growth from that game to this game?
I do. I think us as coaches grow too. And that we don't panic, and we don't, get out of characteristics of what we need to do. I went in there at halftime to the offense and said, we got to keep going. This thing is far from over. I do not want to think we're going to go out there and just all of a sudden try to milk the clock and do it. We've got to go, man. These guys are going to come scoring. We're going to come rolling back out. And we did. Our offense moved the football. We didn't capitalize, and we got the ball down there. So there's a lot of things we can do a lot better.
You mentioned like the top 5, top 10 standard of breaking through there. For whatever reason, the way that we talk about the Group of 5, Power 5, like wins like this from that level also matter. What does it mean especially after last year of just like beating the Power 5 teams on the schedule?
Well, I mean, we only can play who's on our schedule, and we in our program don't look at it like that. Everybody is the same. Everybody's got the same numbers. We all know there's a difference in realities, but for our guys, we never allowed it to be a crutch to say, hey, that's something that we can. They're a little above us, or they get more money or whatever it is. We don't allow that. So for us, it's not that. But I think the name, obviously, to win here at Notre Dame means so much. I mean, a lot of these kids, 81% of our teams are with 300-mile radius. So I would guess that a lot of those kids maybe grew up a fan, maybe at least watched, and so I think in those realms, along with our entire community, there is probably a pretty heavy Notre Dame following. I think it means a lot. And, to our guys, I know it does. To us as coaches, it means we're 4-0. We got a chance to go 5-0. And we got to turn around here on Friday night.
Luke, I know you're fully locked in, and you want to know to go to the next game. I'm sorry you're going to ask this, it's kind of hard getting in here, but just this moment and kind of looking up and hearing the "Let's Go Bearcats" chant and kind of taking over a stadium that's not used to that. They haven't lost here in a long time. What does this moment mean for you and this program?
I'm probably on the nice 5-hour ride home, or hopefully it's only 5 hours. Maybe we can get through some of that traffic. Maybe I'll have a few minutes to kind of reflect. But I do know this, that at the very end, obviously, that's about the only time I allow myself to relax a little bit and smile. But I did look up there, and I tell you that crowd, those fans, they made a difference. And so happy to have them here. I'd heard a lot of people were coming. I kept hearing all week. I do a lot of things in my volleyball. The time I had free up the bye week, and everybody said, "Hey, we're going to Notre Dame, we're going to Notre Dame." And I didn't want to ask them exactly what colors they'd be wearing, but I know a lot of them that did travel that distance were wearing red out there today, and really, really excited to see that.
I think your guys have been talking about this 2-game stretch since the spring. Mission accomplished. And how do you make sure they keep their foot on the pedal on this last week?
We're going to stop halfway and get out. We're going to do a little reminders for us. So with the traffic hits, we're going to just pull off the side, get them out, make sure they run a little bit, make sure we get that lactic acid out for Sunday. But we'll give them the first 2.5 hours, and then maybe at that third hour, if it's getting traffic, we'll get out to kind of remind them, get their heads back. No, we're going to enjoy it. We've got a maturity on the team that I got to trust and believe in, and they've done nothing but prove me every single time. And so we're gonna enjoy this, But we know darn well the turnaround. And when you got guys like Desmond Ray that stands up there and says, "This is just a step in the way we're headed, guys." Our objective is to play for championships, and we've got another opportunity next Friday.
Starting in the offseason, you never shied away from how big this game was. How much of that is the experience this program had coming back and having somebody like Des as a quarterback?
You have a chance in everything you do when you got a guy like Desmond Ray. I mean, he makes everybody around him better, and not just because he's a great quarterback, because he's an incredible human being with his giant heart. And so no matter what, you're going to have a chance. And I wanted nothing more than to have him have this opportunity on the stage, along with a lot of these other guys. I mean, we go as our seniors go, and those guys to be able to have that opportunity. That I was fortunate to play in a lot of them and coach in a lot of them. And this one's right up there with those opportunities in an incredible special place.
So what pleased you most about this week, Luke, whether it was today or during the week or preparing or whatever, what did you say that was really special?
Well, I don't know if there was. I mean, I wanted the guys to come here last night because I wanted them to be able to come in the stadium. It's a special place, and I wanted them to have an opportunity to walk around, relax a little bit, take their pictures and things. Because I didn't want to do that on Saturday. I wanted them to walk in here and think I don't care if we're playing in the parking lot. I don't care if we're playing in the stadium. The reality is we got to go play. And the week, it was, like you said, it was a little bit harder actually having a bye week because you don't want to over-prepare. You don't want to do things in the bye week. So almost like you had to kind of wrestle them in. And we didn't do anything on Notre Dame in the bye week at all, only because I knew how much anxiety and how much energy there was going to be going this entire week. So it was almost harder on us as coaches that, no, we're not doing it. No, we're not doing it. We got to hold them back because I don't want them to be over-prepared. Maybe like we were a little bit in the end.
Some people call this the biggest game in UC football history. Do you think this is, in your mind, is this the biggest win in UC history?
You'd have to ask the people that have been here a lot longer than me. And, I know it's special. I know they're really proud. We're really proud. And I know it's a step in the direction that these guys have worked for. And it's not, I don't want it to be a one and done type of thing. And it's the greatest ever. There's a lot more people that have spent a lot more time here, and I could give you a better lesson on that. But I know this, it's special to us. and we're going to enjoy it.
Chuck, last question.
The game got kind of scary there, and you're on the road, and then you come out with that drive. Did you think they could do that? Did you know they could do that? You know,
It's called the Desmond Ritter factor, and I mean it is what it is, and never ceases to amaze me. And if you look at, I mean, obviously we lost the momentum, you know, and field goals didn't help, you know, and you know, but that's a part of playing on the road, and you know, and we had to find a way to get it back. And the offense had done a good job of really saying that they had moved the football. I think we, you know, maybe got down there closer to the red zone, and you got to give them credit. They did a great job, and you know, but for us to kind of take that last drive and really say this is what we need, you know, when it came down to that drive, that's the difference in the ball game, and especially when you don't have the momentum and you're on the road. So that offensive line and Desmond Ritter, you know, and actually we actually got Jerome Ford going a little bit too, and I think that's something we lose track of when we aren't running the football. You know, I know the ball's moving, but we're not running the football. We can lose some energy and momentum, and we got to do a better job of it.
One more, let's go.
You don't care about making a playoff case for your team. What about a Heisman case for your quarterback?
We'll let the people that are in charge of that stuff do that. I know this: if he has a really good game on Friday night, he'll have a better chance. And then the next week, if he has a really good game, he'll have a better chance. You know, if these guys around him keep picking him up, we'll have a good chance. So.
Thanks.